Yo, this is Necro Butcher.
Nightbound actually that's sort of political
relation of what I see in others.
When you go camping, you're gonna see the Milky Way galaxy.
Punk rock type attitude too. We're just gonna try to, gross you out with our music.
If you love it enough, whatever you're doing, whether it's your instrument, music, or everything like that, you'll find a way to make it work.
We could do this all night. Bass players, I use.
Yo, this is John from Noise Dosage Media, bringing you some of the most impressive and innovative extreme metal musicians on air to have an in-depth conversation about things you haven't known until now. We like to mention our sponsors and friends, Bishop Martin of Rat Punch and Begrudgingly Benny. Brandon specializes in stippling and digitally designing one-of-a-kind gruesome creatures that will look fantastic on any type of band artwork, tattoo, just about anything your twisted mind can think of. All of the art on this podcast is created by him, and we can guarantee 100% professionalism for a fair price. If you want to support the pod, please be sure to sign up for one of our $1, $3, or $5 Patreon tiers. We offer exclusive content, updates, merch, and unique offers that you can't get anywhere else. We're hoping in the future this fund can help aid in various subscriptions needed to keep this platform alive while delivering the best quality content we can. Our mission is to support more bands and deliver more content to our listeners. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Patreon.com/Noise Dosage Media. So first, I want to get this right off the bat so people know how to pronounce your name. I feel like a lot of bands, like there's this death metal band called Sanguisugabog. I don't even think I'm saying it right now. And, I feel like people don't even know how to say certain names, so go ahead with that first.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like a background of the name. We just kind of had it's just a simple little play off the word Aegius, which is kind of like a shield or like shielding force, like some kind of plate of armor. And right. I just kind of got artistic with it. And but I pronounce it Aegius just because I like the sound of it better. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, technically, if you're going off of grammar and how it would be, spelled in like Old English with the common AE, then it would be like E, but no.
no, I was like that's super cool because I've been trying to figure out a name for a band, and it's so hard to be like new, to come up with something like creative, and that hasn't been done before. So props to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we gone through several.
Yeah, I think
additions.
we were going back and forth, a couple different ones, and I mean, I think it was like months. Like I was just writing songs, and then I was like, I don't know what this is what this is going to be named, but I was just writing stuff.
Yeah, that's like one of the last tasks that we need to figure it out.
Right, we had
having songs already, but then was like, okay, what are we gonna call this? But
it's so hard. It's like the brand, dude. It's like everything. It goes off of that logo.
It's pressure. It's pressure.
It's like if you come up with a bad name, you're already like you could be the next Jimi Hendrix, but it doesn't matter.
If you were like, I'm not sure about that.
What is that? But it's like, where's the line? Okay, like where's the line between like eccentric and cool and unique to like, man, like this doesn't work.
Or like you try too hard or something like that.
Yeah. I definitely think the one name bands to me are perfect because it's not like too in your face, but it's like, how do I put it? It's not too in your face, but it's just enough to be like, this is who I am, and we don't have to overdo it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
succinct.
Sure.
Yeah. That's kind of what we were going for. I didn't want to be like a sentence
like
fragment.
Like a full sentence or like nothing over maybe like 3 words. I think.
Yeah, right. The syllable count was kind of what I was trying to hit. Yeah, it's like
perfect. Well, I hit it dead on then. All right. So another thing that I noticed about your band is Willea. You are a fucking great artist. Like I went on your page and I was blown away. Like. Even for the cover art, I was like, this is crazy. Like I've always been inspired by art when it comes to music. They go hand in hand for me. When I see a piece of art, I'll write music. It's just something that you guys do with your music, and do you go off the art? Does that inspire the music, or is it backwards?
I mean, for this, I guess for this EP or for the songs that we have currently, we have the song first, and then I kind of like just start to create something that visually like kind of fits what the storytelling is in the songs. But yeah, this is the first time I ever done like any like an art for an album, so I guess that's how it was for
Now,
for
are
this
you gonna
time.
make this like a conceptual thing because you're the artist?
It could be. Um,
As far as the audio itself, the EP is technically not like a conceptual work. They're all just technically separate fragments, but I mean, they all kind of have like a similar, I guess,
like a
in
theme.
they're in the similar
Yeah.
realm of each other to where like, I don't know, that the artwork's very good at encapsulating kind of the different kind of emotions, I guess, that we have, not only in one song but just across the EP. So
Right. So when did you two get into music? I mean, these are very basic questions, but coming right out the gate, I feel like, right off the bat, like when did you get into piano and when did you get into guitar?
yes, so guitar was I'm I'm 25 right now, but I got into it when I was like 7 or so. So I've been playing for like 18 years.
Perfect.
But
Yeah, with the
mostly
sweeps,
like
man, I'm telling you, you're making me look bad. You're great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that I try not to focus on technique. I mean, mostly it's just picking and stuff, but technique aside, yeah. So I've been playing for about 18 years. I didn't go to music school like Berkeley or MIT or anything like that. I took private lessons from a couple of really good players that were local, and learned mostly everything from them, in terms of like theory and all that. So that's kind of like where I got my start with like guitar and stuff. And then as far as like vocals and the growls and stuff that you hear on the song, and throughout the EP was, I mean, I've only been doing that for maybe since like for like 5 years or so.
There you
So
go.
I've been trying to get better and better at that, 'cause it's just
Right on.
always room for improvement.
So I take it that you do a lot of like pre-production on your own. Like I noticed that you were doing a lot of home recording. Is that all with this EP? Is it all like midied out and stuff, or do you have real drummers and stuff like that, or what?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So in the studio, so we did actually go to a studio here in Chicago to record all the vocals, guitars, bass, and it is live drums. It is a local prog drummer here
There we go.
in Chicago.
Gotta
who's
get the
amazing.
prog guys.
Yeah, man, dude. He I mean, the timing is like it's nothing for him in terms of signatures and meter and all that. But so I got him to play, and he had another location where he recorded stuff at, and then they kind of just mixed it. One engineer at the main studio that we went to, and then yeah. But I mean, as far as the orchestrations and all that stuff, I write all that stuff out with my software at home, and then kind of just hand it to the engineer to try and switch out things and try new sounds. Sometimes we combine things and do things in the studio to kind of liven it up, because obviously
It's a whole different
we want to
animal, man.
maintain
Yeah.
the realness. Yeah.
Right.
And I guess for this one, we didn't really have like technically we didn't have a producer, sort of speak.
That's true.
It's pretty much like all
Self-produced,
self-produced.
yeah.
DIY is the best though. But the thing is, okay. The one thing is, like, I watched that music video, and some bands, can get away with that if they have a kick-ass freaking music video, like visually. Like the music is like secondhand. Do you know what I mean? For me, at least.
Sure.
And if the music video kicks ass, which it does, it totally got me, and the music is great too. So,
Yeah,
Cool, thanks.
thank you. Appreciate that. It was it was actually filmed. Yeah, it was in it was on the lakeshore, but it was good. So just a little concept, and we hope that people will interpret it, as they wish on it. So
I think the coolest thing about what you two do is like, there's only two of you. I've been in bands where it's like 5 people, and I'll tell you, like, just like the amount of
Tell me about it.
holy shit, man, it's just so much work versus the less people, the less confusion. And
yeah,
you guys are doing
agreed.
it right. As long as you're releasing material and you're happy with it, keep doing it. Don't get any others involved.
Well, I mean, that's what it. I mean, during some of our earlier projects, they were with other people, but it's definitely been a cleaner experience as like a duo, because it's more like, someone always has the main like idea, right? It's not like all the time, unless you're like a super group or something. There always tends to be like one person,
Main
maybe
writer.
2
Yeah,
tops.
correct. Right.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah.
and then more or less the other band members like revise like from what it was, but at times you're right, it just gets
there's just so many opinions,
saturated.
you never get anything done. And like,
yeah,
it's very cool that you guys are like guys and girls. I keep screwing that up, but it's very cool that you're releasing the music, going full out with music videos, and there's just 2 of you, and like that inspires me to do, like, I'm writing my own stuff right now, and I'm like, do I want to get a full band? Do I need to do that? Like, can I just hire a prog guy and just let her rip?
can I just hire like 3 other prog musicians? Yeah. And then they can just learn like all this stuff.
Because it's funny, like we were talking about like the band like Ghost. So, like technically there's that just one person who's writing like all the songs and stuff like musically, but then they have such a good like presentation just because like what they have on stage with like all the other guys playing together. Yeah, it's just
they
I think there's so many
sure.
things you can do nowadays. It doesn't have to be like
doesn't have to be in a room, like just jamming.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Yeah, right. I think people get that misconception where like songs are only born from like spontaneous jam sessions,
dude. Like throwing 5 people in one room and like.
Yeah, I mean occasionally, but like
with 4 hours,
you have to have. You have to have
yeah,
the right
like
chemistry.
for half a day and like see what you come up, things like that. But,
hey man, I got this riff. I got this solo idea. All right, let's see what we can do.
Like it's always with the riff.
Like
like I've found a lot of bands that do the pre-production and all that stuff and all make it a lot farther, or they have like 1 or 2 writers for sure. So
it's just so much easier with I just input everything. I have a riff idea or I have a vocal melody, and it starts. It doesn't. From like
there's no holding back. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's nobody saying
you run with it.
Yeah. There's like 2 types of people. Get it done or never get it done.
Yeah, and more people just kind of dilute that process because it's like, well, I could have already have, in the time where you're arguing about like one riff, I could have already double tracked the guitars, put a bass, and like put a sample drum, loop,
and then try it out.
and then I try it out. I tried. By the time you decided on like 2 notes or like 3 beats of a riff, I've like already the solo writer has already completed the entire song section and sees if it actually works.
And the cover art already got made. Everything's packaged up. Everything's ready to be put on Spotify, shared to the world. But we're still on that first riff and the tom fill.
Yeah. You just made it to the like first line of the chorus.
So melodic death metal with a symphonic edge, right? What are, some bands that you've seen live that have really like blown you away? You brought up Ghost. I've seen them, I think, twice, and they definitely blew me away. I was like freaking 17 or 18, and it was nuts.
Very
yeah,
nice.
they I love their like live, and I
They're-
saw them like actually I only saw them once. It was in the 2018 Wacken, and I was
Nice.
like, oh
I've
my
never
god,
went there. I've never made it to a freaking fest.
it's yeah, it's the best experience as a metal app for sure, or at least for me. It was just so crazy, but yeah.
I mean, as far as kind of like what we listen to or how our sound, kind of developed. I mean, melodic death metal, I guess, that's kind of a loose way to put it, because some of our songs are pretty straightforward, but definitely some progressive elements. But really, the inspiration kind of comes from, probably more European sounding mellow death bands, just like Children of Bodom.
Yes, rest in
and
peace,
those,
Alexi, man.
yeah, man,
Rest in power. I'm still
a
trying to
tough
get
one.
over that, but
I have
Just
a pick. I have his
crazy.
autograph. I have a set list, all autographed by them, in a pick, and I don't know if he threw it at me or I bought it. I
don't know if
can't.
it was by choice.
No, it's got the Alexi signature on it. I'm like, I just don't know where this came from. I really don't know. But yeah, dude, that
Yeah,
band,
we've
so
both
good.
seen them multiple times, and yeah, those they were one of those bands that, I mean, man, if there was any notable tour like coming through the U.S., it was like, metal is like Children of Bodom is like, they're like always there. It's
yeah.
like Children of Bodom touring with like Halloween or whatever. Which
Amon Arma.
Yeah, which was probably the last time I saw him. But yeah, just those early, mellow death bands and some of the early like Ensiferum stuff, and then like Winter Sun. Those were all, and obviously Northern, pre when the new singer didn't join Ensiferum, was still Yard. But
What would you
all
think
that
of?
stuff was
What do you think of the newest record, the purple one? I thought it was kick ass.
for
For
Children of
oh
Bodom.
for Children of Bodom, yeah,
oh,
Hexed, right?
Hex.
Yes, yeah.
No, Hex was good.
I-
Hex actually kind of went
yeah.
back to like
To
more
their older stuff.
to the more of an
People
older
were
sound.
hating
where-
on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way. Like this is killer. Like I bought it
yeah.
on vinyl and
Actually,
everything.
Yeah, I listened to it a couple more times recently, and it was actually pretty good. I mean, I liked it.
It was heavier than I Worship Chaos, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Very
I Worship
catchy.
Chaos that was more about like that was more. I didn't feel that it was as heavy as Hexed, but
Right. Yeah, for sure. Hexed is definitely a kick-ass album. All right, so other than Children of Bodom, what else do you worship? Sort of. Yeah.
Well, man, when I was in high school, too, me and my buddies would listen to the Big Four a lot. Like thrash
Big
metal.
Four?
So-
Hell yeah. That's what I used to listen
Yeah.
to.
So Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, and but my favorite out of those was definitely Megadeth. We listened to, I mean, Peace Cells and Rust in Peace, just like probably burned a hole, in those MP3 files somewhere. But
Right on.
yeah, those were all great. So in terms of like also my personal guitar style, like Marty Friedman, Paul Gilbert, those guys, it all kind of comes back. And as a songwriter, though, I take from
You
those
said
kind
Pink
of mellow
Floyd?
death sounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. You say, what was the other one? Was that the guitar player of
don't know
Pink
what I said.
Floyd?
Oh, Paul Gilbert and Marty Friedman.
Oh, I thought you said Gilmore.
But also David Gilmour, though, so
Yeah.
I'll give you credit.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I haven't talked to that.
I mean,
talked
no,
about
I
them
love
ever on
David.
here.
So like David Gilmour's note choice, for example, is great. So yeah, I mean, I love like the way he phrases his stuff, even though like he's more slow. It doesn't matter. It's great. It's great writing. So.
That's crazy, man. I've never talked about that band on here ever. It blows my mind. Like Pink Floyd, what the fuck? All right, so I got some heavy questions right now. This is when we bring we step it up right now. I got the simple questions. You're like, all right, this guy sucks, right? Okay. All right.
I'm about to get mowed over.
All right, ready? Here we go. Is there any specific motto or quote you two live by, or any like words of wisdom that you like to offer? This is where it gets interesting. I love this question.
This is like the stump the trunk question from that metal show.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember watching episodes of that. That shit was great. But sorry.
Specific mottos you live by as a musician or artist.
I mean, I think consistency equals results over time.
Right on.
And I don't think musicians or artists they don't apply that, I guess, because you write 2 songs and then you quit songwriting or being a musician, and it's like you've only written 2 songs. Like you need to at least get like 50 in the books before you're like close to like your potential as a musician or as a songwriter. And I think if anyone was listening or they want to just keep going with what they're doing creatively, I guess in any medium, then just take small steps and do it. You don't have to do a huge project in 1 week, but just day by day, just work at it. But don't give up and finish your work.
Right on.
Finish.
That's good advice, Eric. I love it. Consistency is key. Yeah. All right, Willea, you got one, or we should come back to this one?
I'm just scrambling.
So many options.
Yeah,
so many options. So many.
What will make me sound cooler if I say that? No, actually, I just think that, like, at least for me, I think it's very important for me to keep being open-minded. Just because we're metal musician doesn't mean that we're only like stick to this bubble. Like, I was actually trained classically in piano. That's, I guess, where I get my roots from in terms of music. So I listen to all sorts of stuff, not just metal. I listen to like classical music,
K-pop.
Yeah,
J-rock.
J-rock. Yeah, I listen to like Japanese
you say J-rock?
music, like
J-rock?
Japanese. Yeah,
Oh, boy.
J-rock.
J-rock.
Actually, they have a
it's good
bands.
shit. Like
Yeah.
you can find like, God, there's some of the musicians there. It's like, and some of the power, actually some of just the power metal from Japan, like Galnerius. If you've never heard of them,
Yeah,
Jesus
definitely.
Christ, every song by them
metal.
is just fucking ridiculous.
I just heard
Oh.
baby metal for like the first time like a few months ago.
Yeah,
was
their
like,
their stuff
damn.
is
They actually have a good.
the band is actually really talented. Yeah,
really-
it's just like I think they could
I mean,
make really
I
good
guess
songs.
it depends on how you like. What's your? I guess how you see it.
Yeah, if you see it as like a
Yeah.
legitimate like serious band, or I mean, because that to them, right, it's just like they're having fun,
Right,
So
right.
that's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
Perfect answers. Me, if I were to ask that question myself, I'd probably have to wait 10 minutes. Get back to you. All right, so
No, you got something. Just
all right, so
search.
when writing for see, I messed it up. When writing lyrics like a new song, what is like your top priority?
Genuineness.
Okay.
That has been, to me, I've been kind of I've written a couple new songs recently, and I've been applying some principles and stuff that I've been trying to learn from and say, like, how can I be better as a songwriter? And I think you reach your potential as a songwriter when what you write is genuine behind it.
Right, right.
No matter what style it is, no matter what filter you have, whether you have a funk filter, whether you have a blues, a metal, whatever it is, it's going to come through you naturally. So you don't have to think about it. I think some people think too hard about like the technical aspects when you just want it to sound genuine, right?
Right.
That's been
don't
a principle.
like mimic somebody else. I mean, like you can
Yeah.
stick to your roots, but at the same time try to branch out.
Yeah, just make it true to yourself. Well, I mean, when it comes to lyric writing, like specifically, like the words, I also try to be genuine but specific. So, if you're genuine but general, for example, the combination of those two sometimes leads to cliches, right? Like, because a lot of people have the same genuine feelings about love, but what's specific to your context and your feelings as a songwriter. Now that's genuine and specific, and now you have something that's more like tangible or more unique to you rather than something that's just genuine.
Perfect. Now I gotta ask, because I'm a composer or whatever myself. So when do you two get most creative? I mean, like when it comes 11 o'clock at night when I gotta go to bed, I'm like, yep, it's time to write some music. Like, what about
Time
you?
to write a banger, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, not right now. Come on, stop. My brain's like, you can do it, but
Yeah, definitely not a morning person myself either. But I guess it's just depends on it's like day to day. Sometimes you feel a little bit more inspired
Naturally, and
yeah.
sometimes you have to work for it. I
Right.
would say mostly in the evenings. I mean, we're both not morning people. For me, like my mornings are just about like eating and like thinking and doing some meditation and stuff. But it's
Right.
beyond that. It's like in the evening is all like is more for creative. Just because I think that's just I mean, people's biology, right? Like you're just some people are more are morning and night, but just the way it rolls.
There we go. What about you, Willea?
Same. I don't ever remember like trying to write during like the
Mornings.
daytime.
Yeah, it's always like
it's always like just me. Yeah,
vibing at night.
Usually at night. It's kind of
Dude,
just
it's always
start
like a
playing
Sunday 1 o'clock in the morning for me. Like I gotta go to work Monday. Yeah, like perfect timing.
Oh yeah, no, that's the quintessential thing that happens, or it's like you wrap up for the day and then you're doing whatever else, like cooking or cleaning and then you're just like, that's it. That's the missing couple notes to this melody.
Right.
and then you're off to the races and you have to go back and set up your stuff and
You're like
get it
pacing
down
in the shower back and forth. You're like, I got it.
I'm gonna forget this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Showers.
I don't think you can call
place for like musicians for some reason. It's always like
yeah
when you're showering or like
I think
I don't
too
think you
much.
can call yourself a songwriter if that doesn't happen to you. Like if you're not having melodies like in
the shower.
in the shower.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. All right, so the heaviest question I got, I've been asking every person within the last month this, and I want to see your answers. Ready? So how would you describe success? That word, success.
I guess as a musician,
Yeah.
especially like recently after like we talked about earlier, the passing of Alexi Laiho, I kind of just reflect on like what it means to be a musician or just someone or being a creator. That like what make you successful is I guess what you eventually like leave behind after your time is done. Like it's like what people remember about you is what you created. So I think for me that's at least something that I think will be meaningful to whatever I bring out there.
Yeah, and
Right.
but I mean, success is like I would define it as multidimensional, right? There's
Exactly.
not like
That's why I asked that question. Yeah.
I would I mean, it's not any one thing. It's like, oh, you achieve X and like you're successful.
Yeah.
It's a combination. It's ultimately like a combination of things that fulfill you, right? And once you have enough of those things, you feel, quote unquote successful, which is like the generic feeling that people tend to label it. But it just depends.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a standard to like being successful or not. It's really,
yeah.
I think
you can
the
make
coolest,
it. Yeah.
The one thing I've been told, this one guy, I knew exactly what his answer was going to be. He's like, I just want to make one hit song. That's all I got, and then I can quit anything with this band. I just have to make one hit song. Like if I die without one, like I'm gonna be unsatisfied. And I'm like,
You
that
know,
is powerful, man. That's you know, that's
truth.
tough. Yeah.
I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is. You know, like if you're unrelenting towards that one thing, then but here's the thing though. See, now I would ask him if what is he gonna do after that happens? You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
you're back to
dude.
square one essentially.
So I had the singer of Possessed on, and you want to know what he said to me? He, everything about the podcast was about the band, and he said to be a father, and I'm like, now that is a fucking answer, dude. Like, that is heavy. Like he didn't care about the music at all, like his kids. So I love that question.
All contextual.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's all subjective.
So,
Could be in
um,
any form.
now I'm gonna open up the table for you. Like, what do you want to promote? Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, our single and our full music video is out tomorrow, March 8th, Monday, March 8th. It's the Into the Dawn single, and will be available on all platforms, and Into the Dawn full music video, which will be available on YouTube. But I mean, as far as releases and kind of what is to come, we already have probably another full album's worth of material ready to go as well. So
Of course you are. Yeah, of course you do.
yeah. So that's gonna be cool. So
Yeah,
people
sick.
listening, we're not gonna be releasing like every 2 years. This EP, we're releasing one song every single month. So
Smart.
people who are following along, and kind of joining us on this journey, so to say, is it will be a consistent you know release schedule with consistent drops and different things and many different updates. So definitely not boring. But then after the songs are released, we will be dropping the full thing as an EP, which we'll make it like a bundle kind of thing, and have that drop after. But yeah, we're releasing one song every month.
Very smart. Super smart. The worst thing about being in a band is holding an album for like 3 years and just, hey man, I got the record out, and you're just like yelling to like a fucking ghost, and you're like yelling at a white wall. Like I did that, and so that is good to hear.
It's something that, yeah. Well, I mean, that's like that's the tension of being a musician, right? It's just so much anxiety over dropping like an album or something, and we're like, oh man, I think it'll be more fun, I think, this way too, because there's something that kind of talk about and more time to interact with like each release, instead of just kind of dropping one, and so yeah, we figured
and be exhausted at the end of it, because that's what I find, dude. Everybody's like, hey man, full length's out, check it out, and that's all you see. Or if they're not on a label or whatever, and it's like, come on, man, you could have done so much more. Like, do half the songs, put the money into making a music video, and any type of press you can find.
Good point.
Yeah.
So
good point.
And it was cool because your band's just starting out, and you already know like the way to make it is to get your name out there, and like doing podcasts, doing anything, like putting yourself on like Spotify playlists. What else works? Those YouTube channels that promote your stuff. Like that's like the key nowadays in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a lot. It's definitely like work though. You have to have a plan. We try to stick to what we know, and what we like to do as our PR and stuff. But it's definitely not something that you're like good at like off the bat either.
Right.
I mean, you kind of just have to develop your own system as an artist of what you want to do.
Right, and you figure out what works and what doesn't along the way, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'll wrap it up with this question. What have you learned so far with this whole band thing? What is the biggest thing that pops out?
The biggest thing I learned is, I mean, for me, it's been just like a journey of kind of myself. I mean, if I mean, really, these songs are at least half of me, you know. And the biggest thing I've learned is probably just growth over the years as someone who wants to write songs that have, you know, an emotional feel behind that, and learning how to communicate that, you know, better. To me, that's like why I write anyway, you know, and if I couldn't do that, I wouldn't write, but that's just kind of how I view it. So the biggest thing I've learned through just releasing these songs, specifically our EP, Gather the Crowd, and just putting everything together, absolutely just, you know, kind of believing in your message, you know, across the board, and what you do. So
Right on.
It's a lot to
Perfect.
take in.
Yeah, for sure. All right, will you wrap it up with, you know, your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, like a lot
I
of
got the
like
big
what Eric,
questions.
I know. I'm like, God damn.
This son of a gun.
Yeah, like what Eric mentioned, definitely I've learned so much just through this process of like writing, producing an entire EP, and it just, I guess I get a more clear direction of where I want to go
In the
as
future.
a musician
Yeah.
in the future,
That's true.
by going through all this process, and like it just give me a clear vision of where I want to be for the next album or new music that I will be writing.
Which is
Right
true,
on.
because yeah, even for like newer stuff we're writing now, you take all that stuff and that you've done before, and you apply it, even not even consciously, but you will subconsciously, and that's why you have to do it, you know. That's why for anyone, you know, listening who's you know, on their own journey on it, you just have to go through the steps, you know, make it what you can, with the resources that you have. Just do it, get it done, and then you have a clearer direction of what you want to do as an artist, and not only that, but like how to do it, you know. It's not just made up anymore, like you've actually kind of gone through it. So that's a great point.